Tebbowan. Vanakkam. I'm Vayoni Dimel. This is Boston Lanka News, bringing you news, views and entertainment from Boston and USA. Free at last. General Sarath Fonseka walked out as a free man. President Rajapaksa, hugely popular among people according to Gallup poll. Peiris, difficult mission to USA to explain the plan of action. Former Army Commander Sarath Fonseka walked out a free man last Monday after being arrested on February 8, 2010. He was freed after nearly 2 years in jail on a pardon granted by President Mahinda Rajapaksa. Rather than grant his political arch-rival a full discharge for his crimes, President Rajapaksa only shortened one of his jail terms. Thus, the ailing 61-year-old General Fonseka enjoys neither the right to vote nor to contest at an election, not for a while anyway. According to the law, anyone who serves more than 6 months in prison must forfeit his civic rights for 7 years.
I am free from the prison, but I don't consider me as a free man in this country. Not only me, I don't think anybody is a free man or a woman in this country. All of you, even including you, everybody in this country, lives under a certain amount of intimidation, threat, abuse of power. So I don't think anybody can be happy that they are free in this country.
Talking to Reuters, General Fonseka said, "I might not be able to contest and vote, but still I can do politics. I can educate the people, I can talk to people and have meetings, and I can do anything else to ensure that this government is thrown away and try to bring another government that will look after the welfare of the people." Political analysts believe that international pressure and domestic agitation were only part of the explanation for his liberation. They see it as a tactical move by President Rajapaksa to deflect public attention from economic problems and throw an already divided opposition into further disarray.
I educated myself about the politics in the country, the background to the politics in the country, and patiently I was doing that. I was trying to get a good idea about what the country needs, what the country has gone through, and whatever I could learn from the rest of the other countries. Like say even from Germany I could learn. I read a book in relation to the behavior of conduct of Hitler, how he tried to change the Germany. He replaced the Bible with his communal feelings, communal ideas, how he changed the law, how he appointed the judges, how he framed charges, how he punished the people. All that I studied, and how he took Germany away from the religious psychology of the people, how he tried to change the culture of the Germany, the history of the Germany, like that. So I think I am very educated, and I am in a very good position to compare those things, whatever is concerning our situation here. And it was, I think, the blessings in disguise for me.
The main opposition United National Party is preparing to present a bill in Parliament to ensure that Sarath Fonseka's civic rights and military honours were restored and all penalties against him completely revoked. If the government supports the bill, we will know whether its intention to free Sarath Fonseka is genuine, said UNP General Secretary Tissa Attanayaka. Talking to BBC after his release, General Fonseka said that the attitude of some Sri Lankan leaders gave the world the impression that they were guilty of something, but he is ready to answer for any allegations about the war crimes in relation to the military operations. "I've said from the very beginning to safeguard the name of the military, those who sacrificed their lives, those who conducted that operation. I'll come out at any time. I'm not scared to come before anybody," said General Fonseka. Majorities in over half of the 21st Asian countries and regions Gallup surveyed in 2011 approved of their chief executives, with Lankan President Mahinda Rajapaksa among earning some of the highest marks. As per the survey released recently, Laotians, Cambodians and Sri Lankans were the most likely to express support for their leaders, with over 9 in 10 saying they approve of their job performance. President Mahinda Rajapaksa in Sri Lanka may still be benefiting from residents' residual jubilation following the 2009 end of the country's 26-year civil war. Results are based on face-to-face and telephone interviews with approximately 1,000 adults aged 15 and older conducted between April 5 and December 4, 2011 in the 21 countries in Asian region. U.S. Secretary of State Hillary Clinton last Friday praised Sri Lanka's plan to implement post-conflict recommendations made by an independent commission.
The United States strongly supports the process of reconciliation and reconstruction in Sri Lanka. We have very strong, important ties between our two countries. We were encouraged to see the end of a very long, bloody, terrible conflict, and look forward to working with Sri Lanka as they pursue their commitment to a better future for all the people, and the United States wants to be a supportive partner in those efforts.
We have been able to complete 90% of the work connected with the resettlement of the people who were displaced by the conflict. And there is also a very moving story in human terms with regard to the ex-combatants who have all been rehabilitated. This includes 595 child soldiers. They've all been reintegrated into society after the benefit of exposure to programs of vocational training which equip them to earn their living. The most striking developments have really been in the northern province of Sri Lanka, where the economy is growing by as much as 22% in comparison with the average for the rest of the island, which is about 8%. We are also addressing in earnest constitutional reforms which are appropriate at this stage of the country's political and social development. I think I should refer very briefly to another deep conviction of ours, namely that a reconciliation process, if it is to be successful, must reflect sensitivity to the aspirations of our people. It must have a homegrown quality. It is only then that the people of the country at large will be able to identify this process, which would then come alive in their hearts and minds.
After arriving to the USA, Minister Peiris and his delegation met Sri Lankans living in Washington, D.C. area.
You are a very effective bridge between our two countries, Sri Lanka and the United States. There are no fundamental disagreements between Sri Lanka and the United States. I was asked a question soon after an address which I gave at the Woodrow Wilson Center for Scholars on the day before yesterday. As I concluded the talk, I was asked what I consider to be a very perceptive question, which required a thoughtful response. The question that I was asked by Mr. Hathaway, who was presiding over the proceedings, he runs the South Asia program, he asked me, 3 years ago, it looked as if the United States and Sri Lanka were at one with regard to the policy that was being implemented and followed in the course of, during the period of hostilities. And the United States helped Sri Lanka in many ways to bring those hostilities to a positive conclusion. But now there is the perception that the two countries are at loggerheads. They're doing different things and there are disagreements. How do you explain this? So I said in reply, actually there's no such depth of disagreement. That is a superficial impression which is at variance with the facts. Why? Because what the US wants, see, Mr. Hathaway was of course referring to the resolution that was proposed by the United States at the last Human Rights Council sessions in Geneva. So I said in answer, but look at the resolution, what does it say? It says that they would like us to implement our own commission report, not anybody else's commission. That is what they are asking us to do. So we agree with that. The only disagreement is about nuance, about method, about timing. We think that those decisions are not in the interest of an effective implementation because of the perception of undue pressure from abroad. It is an indigenous process, a homegrown process, which must reach fruition in its own way, in a manner that reflects sensitivity to the aspirations of the people as a homegrown product, something manufactured at home. That is all. Beyond that, there's no disagreement whatsoever.
Minister Peiris met some members of the US Foreign Relations Committee and members of the Sri Lankan caucus. That concludes our news edition. We meet you again with another news edition of News, Views and Entertainment from Boston and USA. Till then, goodbye.